Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with attbbq.com, and this is Puff Pastry Wrapped Brie with Cranberry Chutney. Well, today we're going to be making a very tasty, very simple recipe that can be served as an appetizer or as a dessert. We're going to be taking a wheel of brie, wrapping some puff pastry around it, and making a very simple cranberry chutney to put over the top before it's baked on the grill. So we're going to start with this very simple 3-ingredient cranberry chutney, starting with 12 ounces of fresh cranberries over medium heat in our cast iron skillet. We're going to add 3/4 cup of maple syrup. And then we're gonna add about 6 tablespoons of the House of Q sugar and spice barbecue sauce. This is a recipe we first picked up from our friend Barbecue Brian Misko with House of Q, and it's in his cookbook. Great little recipe he brought to us for a class one time. We've just made a couple little tweaks today. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let this kind of come up to a simmer, and I'm gonna use my little masher here to bust open some of these cranberries. It really helps with that pectin, so you really kind of get this like gelatinized, almost jam type of thing going on. So what happens as these cranberries heat up, you see they start to burst open. And that's great, we want that to happen, and we're gonna help that along just a little bit by crushing them down. But they'll need some time to soften up, and we're really gonna see the consistency change. All right, we can start to see how this is really thickening up now. Getting all those aromas coming out of it as well. Of course, Misko being a Canadian had to throw the maple syrup in there, and it's genius. It goes great with the cranberries, and the sugar and spice is its own beast. Sweet and tangy with like a little cinnamon kick to it. I'd say I want this just a touch thicker, but we're almost there, so I'm just gonna turn this to low and we'll start to work on the puff pastry. All right, so we're just gonna hit our surface with a little bit of flour here. And this is just our store-bought puff pastry. Trust me, you don't want to make this stuff from scratch. It's a lot of work. And the store-bought stuff's going to work just fine for what we're doing today. So the great thing is this is a pretty standard size. We could roll this out just a little bit thinner if we want to, but that's totally up to the brie that you're using. So we're using a brie that's kind of oval shaped today. I don't really need to make any adjustments to the size of the puff pastry, so we're just going to start by placing that right in the center. We'll do the same thing with the other one. We're going to do a couple of these here. And this is about a 7-ounce portion of the brie, if you're looking at different sizes or different styles. A lot of times they're just perfectly round, and that's really easy to work with too, because you can kind of just bring all 4 corners in. What we're doing today is a little bit different shape, but I love the flavor of this cheese. So this is looking beautiful now. See how it's just slowly filling in behind? That's a great consistency. That's what we're looking for. So we're gonna add a little bit right on top of the brie and enclose that in the puff pastry. And we'll finish with more of this later. So that's why we've made so much of this. We just want what we can fit on top of the brie for now. I'm just gonna bring these together. We wanna pinch them. If you got some water, that's helpful. It'll help the puff pastry stick to itself. Kind of pinch that together. And then down here at the ends, we'll kind of just work it around the shape of the brie. I'm gonna fold these together just like that. Again, a little bit of water in there will help stick. So we're gonna put these back onto a parchment-lined sheet pan. So we're gonna mix up a little egg wash here with 1 yolk. And then we're just gonna add a little bit of heavy cream to that. And we're just gonna paint this egg wash all over the surface of the puff pastry. Now this is a little bit more rich egg wash than just say like a whole egg and some milk or water or whatever else you might be using. And what that does is it gives us a little bit darker color and a little bit better shine on this in the end. Totally aesthetic, totally up to you. So here's another little fun thing you can do. Again, this is just for aesthetic. Draw a fork across that egg wash just to give it a little design. These lines will bake right into the puff pastry. So today we're cooking on the Yoder Smoker's YS640S pellet grill. We're running at 400 degrees, set up for indirect grilling. We're gonna pop these guys right here on the top shelf and close it up. Well, we're about 45 minutes into the cook and this stuff is looking really great. It's puffed up nicely, it's looking really brown. Come take a look. You can see this one's even started to open up a little bit, but just great browning, great crust on there. That's all we're really looking for, is some browning and to make sure that this is cooked all the way through on the ends. That cheese is gonna be like molten lava in there. All right, well, we've given this a good 10 minutes or so to rest just because it's so hot inside right now. We're gonna top this off with some more of that cranberry and then just slice right into this thing and watch the goodness pour out. Look at that. That brie just oozing out of there. I'm gonna dive in here. I'm taking a little from the end. I'm gonna scoop up some of that cheese, some of that cranberry. Oh man. And the first thing I get is that tartness and sweetness out of the cranberries. And I love it, it's very balanced in that respect. But then it's just all about the cheese. The fat from that cheese just coats your mouth. You get all of that creamy texture. And then the flaky puff pastry. It's just a magical little combination. Those three things working together, such great balance, and that's always what we're looking for out of these dishes. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out attbbq.com for all the products featured in today's video. If you enjoy the recipe, please hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments or there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to attbbq.com/thesauce. All things barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.